Hello and welcome to Fidelity Next. I'm your host, Emily Enenuevo. Fidelity's co-op program is more than just a stepping stone. It's a launchpad for ambitious students eager to dive into the world of finance, technology, client services, and more. Here at Fidelity, students hit the ground running with extensive training in sales, communication, leadership, and problem-solving skills while learning from industry experts within the company. Today, you'll hear from first-time co-op students who are ready to share their experiences, knowledge, and advice on everything you can expect from a placement at Fidelity. So please welcome students évoquent Kells and connecting over Zoom from Fidelity's Montreal office, Areen Manouguian. A warm welcome to you both. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for having us.
So happy to have you here. So happy to dive into your stories and your experiences here at Fidelity. First-time co-op students.
Yes.
Echo, I'm going to start with you. I know that you are a student on the FCC side, so that's a different side of our company. FCC deals with registered brokerage firms and portfolio managers on trade execution, back office support. So describe your role there and your responsibilities, Echo.
Yeah, so I work with FCC Product Solutions in that department, specifically with the product operations team. Yep. So my main roles include more back-end support. I support the product implementation managers on more of the reporting side, so on all the products that FCC has to offer, such as Unified. And then I support a lot of the training team with all of their article creation and anything kind of to help the advisors learn our products. So what I love most about my role is that it's mainly ad hoc tasks, so I get to, every day looks different for me, and I get to work with a lot of different team members.
Okay, great. So dynamic work, and you're working with Product Solutions and Unified, which is a huge program for us. Areen, I'm going to turn to you. You work from our Montreal office, so many students on the line right now may not know that we do have an office there, placements available there. Areen, describe what you do. I believe you're with ASC, that department. Describe what you do with them.
Yes, you're right. I am an advisor service center representative. So meaning my whole shift, I'm just on the line. My line is open. I get calls from both investors and advisors looking to ask general questions about their accounts or their investments. I'm also there to help them navigate throughout our website, so give them access on our online platform.
Okay, awesome. And just quickly, do you have to be bilingual to work at our Montreal office?
So I actually haven't met a representative who's not bilingual here at the office. So I would assume, yes, it is a bonus.
Amazing. So two different streams, two different lines of work. Echo, I'm going to go to you. What would you describe as your typical day as a student at FCC?
Yeah, so as I said, my role is mainly ad hoc tasks, so literally every day looks different for me. I start my mornings always with just checking my calendar. We do a lot of team check-ins, so the team is very hands-on and we collaborate a lot. And then I get my tasks for the week and go through them. And as well, my weeks are also filled with student trainings, which is great. So it's a mix of work as well as professional development.
Okay, I'm going to get back to those student training programs because that's a really neat aspect of the program. Areen, let me go back to you. What is your typical day like there at the Montreal office?
Yeah, so like I mentioned, I do have my phone line open throughout the shift, so I do follow a specific schedule. And unlike Echo here, my role is a bit more repetitive, so I'm just on the line taking calls from investors, advisors. It's mostly about online access issues or just general questions, as I mentioned, but I'm just really there to assist whenever a call gets in.
Amazing. Now, I know that students hit the ground running when it comes to getting into the placement, starting on training. I know you guys mentioned that you really enjoyed some of the training programs. Areen, what did you like most when you started your placement here at Fidelity and the types of programs that they offered you?
Definitely, the student program has been a huge aspect of my journey here at Fidelity. You know, in Montreal, we're not as many students as Toronto. There, the majority of students are placed there. And so it really gives us the opportunity to, stay connected, get to meet these people, even though we don't see each other in person. Also, I believe it gives us really great exposure to so many opportunities. You get to learn so much more than only what your role consists of. And also you get to network with so many people who have really impressive, backgrounds and experiences and positions at Fidelity. So it's really great.
Amazing. Yeah. Echo, what types of programs did you enjoy when you first joined?
Yeah, just to add on to Areen, Fidelity really invests in their students, and the training program is amazing. I can't say enough good things about it.
Yeah.
My favorite trainings, we did an intermediate Excel course, which I thought was very useful. Never done something like that, so that was great, and I've been actually using that in my day-to-day work. We also did a communication class where we had to kind of create a pitch with students, so that was cool. And then we also did an etiquette one, which is really fun.
Oh, wow. So cool. Very diverse.
Yeah.
Can you describe to students watching on the line what the interview application process is like for a placement here at Fidelity? What did you have to go through?
Yeah, so for my experience, it was a pretty smooth process. I reached out to one of the campus ambassadors. Highly recommend doing that. They kind of connected me with a student that was in my role, the role that I have now. So I got to learn from them and really prepare myself for the interview. And then the actual interview was just 3 people interviewing me from FCC. So it was just a typical traditional interview.
Yeah. How about you, Areen?
Yeah, so for my application process, I actually initially first heard of Fidelity through a friend. So she started here as an intern as well. She's still with the company. She had really great things to say about the work culture and environment. So I definitely was interested in doing a term here at Fidelity. And so regarding the interview aspect, I feel like the recruiters were really there, just to get a little bit more information about me and just to see how my background and experience align with the role itself that I was applying for. It really felt more like a discussion, and I do agree it was a really smooth and straightforward process.
Do you recommend going in with a few choices, a few interests if you don't get that first position right away? Do they ask you what else you would like to do?
Yeah, I definitely suggest kind of going beyond just your major. Yeah. My major is management, so it's quite broad, but my past co-ops have been more marketing, so I wanted to try kind of a new area. So when I saw product solutions, I was like, it's a great way to still be creative, but then try something new. So yeah, I definitely suggest kind of branching out and not just staying strict to like one certain area.
And a question we get a lot from students is, do you need a really intense financial background to be involved with Fidelity, to search different, placement opportunities here? What would you say? Do you need that type of background, or are there different positions for different majors?
Yeah, I can start off with that question. So I would say I've always been interested in finance, but it's never been something that like I saw myself in.
Yeah.
And so I just wanted to test it out. I've heard like amazing things about Fidelity, so I applied. And I wouldn't say that you need any sort of background. Obviously, for specific roles you do, but for many of the roles you don't. And it's a great opportunity to learn about the financial industry. That's why they have the training program and all of the divisional overviews, so you can kind of learn from the best and see if it's the right industry for you.
Yeah, good point. Good point. Areen, I'm going to go to you. Describe the working environment and culture at the Montreal office. You mentioned it's a little bit smaller than the Toronto headquarters, but I know you enjoy it there very much. What makes it unique?
Yeah, I really love it over here. The environment is so supportive, so welcoming. It definitely feels a little intimidating starting off as an intern, but the people here are so friendly, so approachable. You feel like they're here to answer your questions whenever you need help. And so that definitely makes a huge difference. Also, there's a lot of little initiatives and events you get to, benefit from if you come in person. So I definitely prefer working from the office than, working from home.
That's great to hear. So you like being in that office culture, that corporate culture, and it sounds like it's a very welcoming environment. How about for you, Echo? How does the working environment here in Toronto appeal to you?
Yeah, I love FCC. Like same with Areen, I try to come into office as much as I can.
Okay, yeah.
I'm only required to come in once a week, which is nice to have the option as I do commute from Burlington. But I would say that I try to come in like 2 to 3 times because there's always like a free treats and things like that. And then it's always great to connect with the other students.
But that's a lot to say, being here physically in person. That's a lot to say in terms of networking, right? And getting to know different departments in the company, would you say?
Yeah, definitely. Fidelity really fosters like an environment where you can coffee chat. So I always love like asking someone for a coffee chat. I try to do once a week kind of thing to meet someone from a different department. And it's nice to do those in person rather than online.
So would you say, Echo, that's been one of the highlights of your student experience so far? What sort of has stood out for you throughout this term?
Yeah, I would say the coffee chats are a big one. Just everyone being so welcoming. Like my past co-ops weren't the same as that. I think because there's so many students, everyone really values them and knows that we are the future. Another thing that came to mind when you said like what's most memorable, I joined an ERG this term. So it's basically, for those who don't know, it's a sort of a club that Fidelity offers. And I joined the women leadership group. So I've really enjoyed meeting a bunch of women from all over different departments. And then we get to like host different events for internal employees.
That's amazing. And I would say, this experience, whatever you bring to it, you make the most of it, right? I mean, you joining extracurricular, extra employee resource groups, I feel that's really broadened your experience, would you say? Yeah,
definitely. Like Fidelity gives you the resources, but it's you have to take the initiative to kind of take that on, yeah.
How about for you, Areen? What has been the best part of your student experience so far?
I think I can speak for everyone when I say I truly do feel valued as an employee here. From the beginning, my manager has been personally pushing me, to take initiative, to, step out of my comfort zone, just to be more involved in general in different committees and initiatives that we do have. And it really feels like you're part of a team who wants you to grow and learn more. If you express interest in a specific field or department, you will get the opportunity, to learn about that.
That's really amazing to hear. And on the flip side, what has sort of been a challenging part of your experience? I mean, I can imagine both of you might have been a little intimidated when you first started, so much to learn, a huge learning curve. What has sort of been a challenging part?
Yeah, I would say the most, at first I think I was a bit intimidated by the coffee chat culture just
Right.
because I've never come from a workplace that's been so welcoming and so friendly. And when my managers reach out to this person, they're all in very high roles. So I was
Like, how do you do that? How do you approach that?
Yeah,
Right?
but it really got me out of my comfort zone. And once I did my first one, I was like, oh, they're so nice and friendly and they just want to help. So then I really understood that and took the initiative to keep doing them.
So putting yourself out there and trying to get out of your comfort zone opens a lot of doors. How about for you, Areen?
Personally, I would say the first 3 weeks of training, only because I never thought I'd be ready to start taking calls only after 3 weeks. But definitely once I started taking these calls in real time, I had my coworkers around me ready to answer questions and jump in whenever I needed help. It just made me realize how much quicker, I learned just practicing those situations. So my most challenging part would definitely be the training.
Okay, and that's a good transition into my last few questions. So speaking to UP students who might be listening on the line right now, how is it best that they prepare for a placement at Fidelity? What can they do ahead of time to get ready to work here?
Yeah, so I kind of mentioned at the beginning, but I would really suggest reaching out to your campus ambassadors. They're all over campus, and it's a great resource to actually learn about your role. So if you apply to different ones, reach out to them to kind of get insights on what the co-op is actually like, so that kind of gives you an up in your interview as well as prepares you for what the training program is going to be like and all of that. I would also say another interview tip would to be really to highlight your extracurricular experience. Fidelity looks for people who are involved in clubs and really passionate about different things. So I think that would be a good tip.
That's amazing. What about you, Areen?
I do also want to emphasize the coffee chats because everyone here, like I mentioned, is very friendly and approachable. And, if you just take a few time to reach out to somebody on LinkedIn who has a position you're interested in or a position you will be interviewing for, they will definitely take a few moments out of their day, to just chat with you. So definitely do reach out to people for coffee chats. And also I did hear this countless times here from managers at Fidelity, but definitely show that you are curious and you're willing to take initiative. The more you show that you're interested in learning, the more you will get to go further.
Great tip. So stay curious, ask a lot of questions, keep an eye out for those coffee chats, and definitely get in touch with your campus ambassadors at your college or university. So last question here, Echo and Areen. Overall, what mindset would you recommend students to go into co-op placement here at Fidelity or anywhere in the professional working world? What would you say?
Yeah, I would say that kind of goes off to what Areen said about staying curious. I think that it's really important to have an open mindset, even if it's not typically the industry you were originally interested in or something. Really be curious and try new things. Fidelity, as we've mentioned, provides so many opportunities to network across the whole organization. They offer different divisional overviews and things, so make sure to attend all those programs, as some of them are optional, but try to attend each one.
Yeah, if you can.
And then as well, just stay open. There's so many different opportunities.
Right. And you get the last word, Areen. What mindset should students go into?
Definitely, I agree with what Echo said. And if I can add something, it would be to come in open-minded in regards to the position you want to go get into and just evolve in. Don't be just specifically stuck on a specific position, a specific career path. There's so many things you can learn here, and it's really easy to switch from a position to the other and to learn from different departments. So definitely keep an open mind.
Great tips, great insights. Areen, Echo, thank you so much for being here and sharing your experiences with other students on the line. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And thank you for watching today's episode of Fidelity Next. If you'd like to catch a replay of this episode, you can find it all on Fidelity Canada's YouTube channel under the Fidelity Next playlist. Or if you prefer our podcast, you can find all of our past episodes everywhere you get your podcast, including Apple and Spotify. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.